So, boys, the Yap God yapped a little too much, unfortunately. Basically, I record my videos by not recording and instead using the 20-minute clip thing from NVIDIA Shadowplay. Oh, my fan's on, sorry. And what happened was, I yapped a little too long, and so the complete intro of my video went to shit. Basically, I'm making a video on the predatory practices of this game and how they could fix it. And at the end of the video, I kind of go on a bit of a tangent, right? Wait, I didn't turn it off completely. I gotta go on a bit of a tangent of explaining why these gacha games will never change their ways, even though the solutions are so goddamn simple. And yeah, basically, my throat was super dry. I streamed for nearly 2.5 hours, and I'm an extreme introvert. I usually only say about 20 sentences a day if I had to guess. It's not normal for me to talk that much at all. The last time I talked that much was probably in years. Like, it's been years. I can't name the last time I yapped that long on stream for. So, appreciate you all stopping by. Appreciate the support. I thought I was going to be in there with 4 people just chilling. Out of nowhere, I got like 30 to 40 people consistently in the stream. It was great. Thank you all for stopping by. We had some great talking points in the video or in the stream, and that's actually why I came up with this video, was because at some point in the stream for like half an hour to an hour, we were talking about how predatory the games are and how they could just fix it and make it better. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy the video. Peace. That is for every single previous limited 5-star that still uses limited pulls, right? But obviously, the reason why they won't do this, it's obvious. They want to do reruns, right? Games like these love doing reruns because it's FOMO, right? Like, if they put every single character into one banner, people will get that FOMO. They know they can come back at any time, choose whatever character they want, and pull on them. It's FOMO, okay? That is the only reason why we simply don't have another banner that is filled with previous limited characters, because they want us to feel FOMO and keep investing time into the game and waiting for a rerun and then pulling on that character, right? That's how these games work. But I do think a huge change that would make these games significantly less predatory and honestly just nicer to play is to have a third banner with all previous limited characters that obviously uses limited pulls, because a lot of people, even if not just for them being broken or meta, a lot of people just want a character because they're good, right? I have a friend that I have a friend who plays Genshin. Now, I personally don't like Genshin and I quit it, but he loves it, right? And he's had a dilemma where he wants to get Shenhe, or I think that's how you say her name, right? I think it's Shenhe. But the issue is, she hasn't had a rerun since before Honkai Star Rail even released, right? So he's waiting and waiting and waiting, but she never releases or gets her rerun. And so he's frustrated because it's one of his favorite characters, but he can never pull for her because she's never getting her rerun. And I think just a huge change for these games would be to have a third banner where you can wish on previous limiteds, but it's just limited pulls, right? Like, obviously it's going to use limited pulls. So that was one of the changes that we came up with in the stream. Now, the other change is to buy characters straight out for a set price. Now, I understand why this would be an issue. These games want you to gacha, right? They want you to lose the 50-50. Let's be honest. These companies want you to lose the 50-50 so that you feel like you have to spend money on the game. But they could also just make copies of characters for a set amount of money or asteroid, right? Now, how much would it be? Well, I believe the average to S6 a character, whether it be a Hoyo game or Wuthering Waves, the average is around $1,500 to $2,000 to S6 a character, I believe. So what you do is you get that price, you cut it by a quarter, and then you give you set that as the price for that copy, right? So if it takes people on average $100 to $125 to get one copy of a character, then you cut it to $75 to $105 or whatever it is, right? Now, why am I saying this? Why am I saying cut the price? Well, in the gacha, you get 4 stars, and you also get 3 stars. And not only do you get 4 stars, but you also get a currency from wishing that allows you to get even more limited pulls. So when you're buying a set character at a set price, you're not getting this other currency that allows you to get other limited pulls. And you're also not getting 4 stars or other fodder 3 stars that you could use to feed other stuff, right? So I do think it's fair to have a price cut on a set price for one character, because you're not getting any of the other characters on the banner. And the reason why I think this is good is because many people simply don't want to deal with the gacha bullshit, right? Like, sure, the price is still absurd even if they put it at set amount of money for copies, but most people, or I know a lot more people, would spend money if there was just a set price for a character copy instead of relying on the gacha all the time, right? And I know this is a huge thing for Muslims. In the religion, Islam, you cannot gamble or participate in any type of raffles or any of that stuff. Whether it's gambling, it doesn't matter. Even if it's in-game currency, anything raffle related or chance related is instantly, it's bad, okay? It's a sin. It straight up is a sin. So you literally gain a whole new group of people from a religion into your game that would probably help a lot with getting more people into it and spending more money if you just put set prices for characters, because then they don't have to deal with the bullshit gacha. By the way, I think they should do it a set price for real money and Asterites, because otherwise these Muslims will never be able to use their Asterites, right? But then you now have a bigger group of people from a different religion who can play the game, and you make more money off the game just by putting things at a set price, right? Like, it's not even just Muslims, by the way. I'm just mentioning them because it's a sin in their religion, so they literally can't play these gacha games because of it. But this would be something to change that, right? You would now be able to play these gacha games so long as there is a set price to buy these characters, which would be huge. Like, it'd be huge, man. Like, I want that. Like, it's nice, you know? You get more people in your game, you get more people spending money in your game, but I think these companies are a little too scared of adding set prices to characters because they want people to get gambling addictions. I'm gonna say it straight up, right? These companies want to get you addicted, and they want to be predatory. That is exactly why it's probably banned in Islam, right? But these companies want to take advantage of you in your mental state. They want to get you addicted. They want you to spend money over and over and over again until you get completely enthralled in these games and you can never leave them, right? And that's how it is. That's why whales get clowned on so often in these games. It's like, damn, you spend $2,000 for a character that doesn't even fucking matter? What is wrong with you, right? It's hilarious. But that was another point that we came up with. So we have giving characters set prices that you can buy at a set price, right? Then we have the third banner for limiteds, right? So only these two changes alone would completely change these games and make them significantly less predatory, and personally I believe would bring in a lot more people into the game. Like, I really do believe these would be huge changes that it would attract people into the game a lot more, right? Gacha in general, any type of RNG in any game is fucking annoying. Like, straight up, it's incredibly annoying. Acheron, When she came out in Honkai Star Rail, by the way, it's a 75-25 for the weapon banner in Honkai Star Rail. And I lost on it. So I was like, do I spend money? And then I said, fuck that. I'm gonna quit the game because I don't want to give this game money for fucking me over. So I quit the game, and then I came back in like Firefly's patch. So I got Firefly. I lost a 50-50 on Ruame. And I've learned now, I have the self-control to not spend on gems. Now, yes, I'm not completely free to play. I'm not a complete saint, okay? I do buy the monthly pass, and I do buy the battle pass. Sometimes, not always. But sometimes I do buy the battle pass. But I refuse to buy the actual gems in this game because they are just a complete scam. You spend $100 for 40 pulls. Yup. 40 pulls is $100. So you have to spend $200 to guarantee a character. And then if you lose the 50-50, it's now $400 to guarantee a character. You see how these games make as much money as they do now, right? So I'm never gonna go down the road of let me spend this much money unless like I end up getting like super big in the future. However, even if that happened, I think the most I'd spend is like E2 S1. I simply could never justify E6 or E6 S5. Like that shit is thousands of dollars. I could never do it, right? But my point is, there are many changes these gacha games can make that are so fucking simple and easy that even I, like someone who's the customer, could immediately think off the top of their head and people in the stream could come up with. But these companies will forever refuse to do it because, as I said before, oh, that's kind of beautiful. But these companies will forever refuse to do it because they want to get you addicted, right? They don't really care that you're spending a ton of money. I mean, I don't know if you guys seen, but the Ari skin problem in League of Legends, people were literally taking out loans because they were too broke to afford it. And they were doing this for skins, right? Like, you have to imagine that the same is happening in these gacha games. So I don't understand how there hasn't been laws put in place for this shit yet. Like, it is a glorified gambling casino, but for kids, right? Like, this is what I don't understand. A casino is like, obviously it's real money, so it's different to an extent, right? But it still isn't that much different in the aspect of how it affects people's mentality, right? I remember some situations in Genshin Impact where I think the daughter of some guy used his credit card. Basically, she used her father's credit card and drowned it in the tens of thousands of dollars getting characters in Genshin Impact. Like, and it's happened multiple times in multiple games, right? These games have the same effect that gambling in casinos does. For people, it's no different, right? Sure, you're not gambling. Well, you are using your real money for fucking pixels. Honestly, gambling at a casino is better because these pixels will eventually die. The game will eventually die. But real money is real money. You actually have a chance to make your shit back. However, if you spend your money on these games, your shit is completely gone. You're never getting your money's worth, right? At the end of the day, when you spend money on these games, it's not to make money back, but to get enjoyment back, right? You're paying money to enjoy a character more or enjoy the game more. For many, that is simply the case. That is why there are so many whales in these games. There are definitely some whales who... I know there are a lot of whales, right, who just get these characters to flex the money they have. But at the same time, there are also a lot of whales who simply do it to get more enjoyment out of it. My throat... It's dead again. Fuck, I've been talking too much. I'm sorry, guys. Oh, I think my voice has cracked at least like 3 to 4 times today. It hasn't been a good day for me, right? At least for my throat and my voice, right? But for many of these whales, spending thousands of dollars on a character does bring them more enjoyment in the game, whether people want to believe that or not. And there's really nothing wrong with that so long as they're financially stable, right? But I do think there needs to be laws set in place, at least in the West, to make these games less predatory, because the effect they're having on this generation is terrible, right? Like, if you go back 5 to 10 years ago, even just paying full price for a game used to be questionable, right? Like, people used to look up reviews constantly, like, ooh, am I really about to pay 50 to 60 bucks for a game? Is it really that good? Is it worth my money? But now you have like these content creators and people who are like, yeah, I spent 2 to 3K on this game, you know, I'm a light spender. Like, what are you talking about, man? That's 20 full price games right there. Slow down, right? Slow down. And I just find it very disgusting that it's becoming normalized, these gacha games, right? I will forever spend on the monthly pass and the battle pass because of how cheap they are, right? They're the only two things that really have any value in this game. You get, from the monthly pass, it's 5 USD, right? And you get 20 pulls. Now, $100 is usually 40 pulls. So you're getting, I'm not even gonna count it, man. But you're getting like 1,000% plus more value from getting these monthly passes than you are from buying anything straight from gems, right? And then the battle passes, while yes, for limited pulls aren't that crazy of a deal, they are a good deal in terms of progression in these games, because they give you a lot of XP, a lot of materials, a lot of things that you need for leveling up characters and getting them stronger faster, right? There's nothing more annoying than a game just releasing, a gacha game just releasing, and you have 8 different characters that you want to level up, but you simply don't have the materials for it. So it ends up taking months and months and months of playtime to actually get all those characters leveled up, with all their skills leveled up, with all their echoes leveled up, and it takes a long time, right? So basically, battle passes just decrease that time, right? And then once you have all these characters leveled up and a solid team, you no longer need to buy the battle pass anymore, right? I mean, you can, but it's not a necessity anymore. Since you already have all these characters that you like completely built up, there's really nothing left for you, right? So at that point, sure, the battle pass becomes useless, but at the beginning of a game, like WoWa currently, the battle pass is very, very, very useful. It also comes in clutch at times. Just getting a few extra pulls can sometimes come in clutch for winning a 50-50 or something. You know how it is, right? That's how they get you to buy the battle pass as well. You need a few extra pulls in order to finally hit the guarantee on a banner, and you're hoping that you might hit it, right? That's what actually happened to me in Honkai Star Rail. I bought the battle pass in Honkai Star Rail trying to get Ruan Mei, but I failed miserably. I lost a 50-50, and it ended up being a waste of my fucking money. But, you know, it is what it is, right? Can't win them all. But that is the nature of these gacha games. They are rooted in extremely predatory practices, and they do their best to bypass laws in any way they can, but it's incredibly scummy, right? This is why I never understood the Cope Genshin players. Again, it's completely fine if you like the game, right? Just a minority of Genshin players who were saying that WoWa people are spoiled and that they get rewarded too much and it's bad, and that Genshin has better reward pacing, basically saying Genshin's shittier rewards makes it better than WoWa because WoWa is getting too many. You see the mindset that these games are building people on? Like, it's disgusting. It's completely normalized to think that you have to spend a shit ton of money on a game in order to actually get enjoyment out of it, right? I remember arguing with a whale like a month or two ago, where he was saying that free-to-play should know their place and that they shouldn't expect to be able to get so many characters. And it's disgusting to me. Like, when did this mindset become adapted? When did people start thinking it was completely normal to shit on people who don't spend money on the game because you have an addiction and you do spend a shit ton of money on the game. Like, you are a cool kid. Like, it reminds me of those high school kids who would buy named brands on their clothes and think it like made them a better person or any cooler or better. Like, straight up, it just made you look like a dumbass. Like, what the fuck are you doing with your money, man? But I digress, right? My point is, I'm going off on a bit of a tangent here, right? My point is, these gacha games are extremely predatory. Some points that I brought up in this video that could fix them, and why they won't fix them, right? To expect any of these companies, especially in the East, where it's significantly more normalized for these type of gacha games to happen, we are likely never going to reach them. Unless the Western world starts making these gacha games, right? But we are never going to reach these companies, and we're likely never going to reach anything at all over there in the East in general. I hope it's eventually in the West that we're able to get laws in place to make gacha better. Like, even if they don't put set prices for characters, at least make everything guaranteed in a banner. It doesn't matter if it's more expensive, just make it to where there isn't this chance, right, that you won't get what you're actually paying for. It's bad. It's terrible design and extremely predatory, and it needs to be changed. So yeah, just a video on gambling, predatory game, and how they could change it to make it better and get a bigger audience. And yeah, hope all of you have a great day. Hope all of you have a great night. Peace.